I love to get down. I like to get down in the back of a car. I like to get down in this office, on this table. I like to get down anywhere you possibly can get down. Public restrooms, Target, on the roof of a building, when I'm skydiving. The Get Down is a series from Netflix that recently came out. It comes from Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann from some movies like Moulin Rouge, Do the Can. Romeo and Juliet, which has Leonardo DiCaprio, the one, the only, the dude that fights a bear. It's a CGI bear, still a bear. Australia, a cinematic masterpiece of epic proportions that just kind of sucked in general, but it had Hugh Jackman in it. So this is season 1 of The Get Down. And in this first section, which is only 6 episodes, second half comes out later. This is a musical conglomeration of epic proportions. Not only does it weave disco, an early rap game, but also scratching. And in the Bronx, in the 1970s, when drugs were everywhere, as they should be, and women were cheap and easy. Not all women, just some of them. And there were a lot of bad dudes. And gangs and politicians. Boom! Mixes it up. Now, not all musicals are created equal, but Baz Luhrmann knows how to create a musical. The music is one of the characters in this series, and that's what I like about it. But all the characters fill out the cast extremely well. But more importantly was the historical reference points in this. Baz Luhrmann was able to weave in the historical significance of the Bronx in the 1970s. How bad it was living there. And it reminds me a lot of when I was growing up in the Bronx, which I never did. And I remember there were moments when I just wanted out. And so watching these characters go through what I was going through in my own head, it was revelationary for me. It's hindsight 2020. You're remembering what you went through and you're hoping these kids can get out of it. Shaolin Fantastic, what an awesome character. You had Books, the main character, he was great. That girl that could sing, she was great. All the acting was well done. There wasn't a moment where I was just kind of bummed and like, okay, this is sucking. It made me want to fucking groove. The music in this, from the scratching to the disco, everything about it makes you want to get up and dance. And I was. The entire time I was in here breakdancing, I was doing the loop-de-loop. I was doing the eat the hairy armpit dance, which I don't know if you've ever done, but it's awesome. I was doing all kinds of dances I haven't done in years. I was doing the bump and grind right up against that wall right there. I was twerking at one point up against that doorway. The music was spot on. And they weaved it in so damn well. A lot of what these kids went through in this story reminded me of what I went through. The decisions. The heavy decision making between who you want to be and who society wants you to be, or your possible way to get out. The things that you thought you were going to do when you were a little Chinese baby, you don't have those when you're older. You lose those. And so one of the key things about this story was that fight, that internal fight between who am I and who do I want to be. And it reminded me a lot of decisions, actually 2 major ones in my life. One was this 24-year-old model who wanted me to be with her forever. I said no. I was 13. What am I supposed to do? And this was the second one that came on to me. And then the second decision was I went to a disco hall and I started dancing. And one of the guys, his name was Cadillac, tried to shoot me. He wanted me dead because he thought I was taking over his empire. And I was sleeping with his mom. So a lot of what was going on in this series reminded me of when I was growing up. Because yeah, I might look white, but that's just color correction. But this series made me, when I was watching, I was actually really interested in the Bronx and what was happening to it. The first part of episode 5 was the best part of this entire season, and I'll tell you why. Because it weaved everything in. All the characters merging, arguing, fighting. And the music started. But it wasn't just one bit of music. It was the merging of the disco and the scratch game, the scratch/rap, right? It was merging both of those in together and weaving this amazing, unbelievably filmed, perfectly edited sequence in a show that I've seen. That was the moment I was in love with the series. The parties that are going on, they remind me of the parties that I go to all the time. You go to these parties, you have so many drugs, so many things you're popping. Next thing you know, you're waking up in a back alley, blacked out. You don't know where your clothes are. You don't know where your money is. You don't know where anything is. Bottom line, The Get Down on Netflix. Go check it out. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. If you don't like Grandmaster Flash, you're probably not going to like this. And I liked how they weaved his story in. And there was one song that really made me think. Black Man in a White World really kind of shook me to the core. But this one also touched me internally, not just externally. It touched me in a way where I felt like I understood. I understood why I feel so out of place all the time. It's not always because I'm giving kids wedgies and running before the cops catch me. It's not even because I'm pushing old people over or taking lollipops. None of that is why I feel like I'm an outcast. Like I'm a black man in a white man's world. All of it's because I have a demonic heart. And I don't want people to know that I want to be a normal human being. I want you to see me as me. And not as something else. Not of the size of my penis. Not whether or not I have a beard or not. Or whether my nipples are really hard and look like pencil erasers. Regardless of the black-white reference, has nothing to do with it. Just think about it. Yeah, there's some social context with it, and I understand that. And that's amazing. But it's just a fucking good song. I'm going to tell you, go watch The Get Down. It was a great show. I really enjoyed it. If you don't like musicals, well, you just fucking don't love anything, do you? You basically have a crusty heart. See, I have a demonic heart, but I love to dance. Okay? I love to dance. So my demonic heart opens up. Yeah, sure, I might dance someone to death. True, that could happen. But at least I like to dance. And if you don't like dance musicals or music at all, you're basically heartless. Okay? You probably need to go back from whence you came, which is hell. Peppermint candies are great. And after watching this review, you're probably like, man, I want a peppermint candy. But you probably don't have one. So you just probably should just subscribe and comment and do all that stuff. And look, if you have a question, you want something reviewed, hit me up. I'm your bro.